Hello there. We are live. Let me just move this TikTok, moving you guys over here. Uh, I'm Brian Manning. I'm an asylum lawyer, and I want and I want to answer your questions today. Phone went wild on about winning asylum in the United States. I used to be an asylum officer with the government, but now I'm an asylum lawyer, and we help immigrants all over the country to secure their future in America through asylum. And that's what we're here to do today is talk about asylum. So I want to know, what do you want to know about winning asylum in the United States? Hello? Say hello. Before you start dropping those questions, say hello. Let me know where you're watching from. Love to see where you guys are at, where this community of asylum seekers and those who support them are at. Say hello. Let me know where you're joining us from today. Yep, YouTube. We're live on YouTube. We're on TikTok. We're on Facebook. We're on LinkedIn. I'm Brian Manning. I'm an asylum lawyer, and I want to help you to secure your future in America through asylum. So let me know what questions you have about asylum. Hey there, Pranati said on YouTube says, "Hey, seeing you after so long." Yeah, I haven't been live in a while. It's been a minute, hasn't it? Um, yeah, just hectic. Things have been busy. Um, there's never a dull moment with immigration, and especially with this administration when it comes to asylum. There's definitely never a dull moment, right? um, the government keeps throwing up new obstacles, keeps implementing new policies to try to make it harder for immigrants to come here and to stay here, and including to win asylum. So we're busy. We're busy. We're very busy. We're very busy working to give our clients the best possible chance to win their case. But look, here's the good news. With all the bad news that you see out there and all the stories about people getting detained, arrested, having their rights abused, deportations, denials, all of this, right? There's a lot of bad news, but I want to reassure you that there are positive stories as well. We keep winning cases. Our clients keep winning asylum. Okay. Um, it's not easy. The approval rates are low, and I think they're only going to keep going down, 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 down with every month that this administration is in power. But it's not impossible. We keep winning cases for our clients. Okay. Um, it seems like almost pretty much every day, it seems like that we get a new approval notice for another client, another family whose lives are changed and impacted positively, for not just their lives, but for generations to come, right? And that's huge. It's why we do what we do. We love it, and we're going to keep fighting the good fight. But I want you to take heart and know that it is still possible to win. We keep getting approvals both in immigration court and the asylum office. All right, so it is still possible. Say hello. Let me know where you're watching from. We got Ashraf on YouTube says hello from California. Nice. Hello, hello. We got Akash says hello. Good to see you, Akash. Thanks for being here. Thanks for the reassurance, Pranati says. All right. Uh, Will Ashraf says, I filed for asylum in San Francisco in February 2025. I haven't received an appointment. I'd like to transfer my case to Chicago. Will my appointment be delayed if I transfer? And good question. The question is this: will having your case transferred from one asylum office to another one slow down the processing of your case? Will it lead to delays such that it takes longer to get your interview? Um, Probably not. There's no way to predict this. Like, I have no reason to believe that it will necessarily slow down the case or speed it up. And I've not seen indications of that, that it slows the case down or really affects the timing. And I say that based both on my experience as an former asylum officer and now as an asylum lawyer. I'm not seeing any impact, and even if there were, you couldn't really predict how that might change from day to day and office to office. So the point is, don't worry about it. Like, the fact that moving and having your case transferred could affect the timing is something that you shouldn't really take into consideration. I wouldn't worry about it at all, is what I'm saying. If you want to move or you need to move, move. Okay. That's what I think. All right. Pranati wants to know, are there any female asylum officers? Good question. The question is this: are there any female asylum officers? And if so, can you like request one if you'd prefer to have a female officer rather than a male? And the answer is yes to both questions. USCIS is pretty good about accommodating requests for to have a female, or if you wanted to have a male. If you've got a reason, like if for example, you have a sensitive story about, maybe sexual abuse or battery or something like that, um, or really for whatever reason, if you can just explain why you would feel much more comfortable with, either a male or a female, then USCIS will almost certainly accommodate that and give you what you want in terms of the officer of being either male or female. But you just need to make that request ahead of time. Like I would reach out after applying, I would reach out to the asylum office by email and tell them that. And then once your interview gets scheduled, I would send the letter again and say, hey, just wanted to remind you of this request. Could you please ensure that I'm with, a male or a female? Okay. All right. Akash wants to know on YouTube, which is better, Chicago or Arlington Asylum Office? The question is this. Is it preferable to have your case heard at the Arlington Asylum Office or the Chicago Asylum Office? It's about the same. Um, they're usually more or less the same in terms of their approval rates. They're kind of in the second tier. Like usually the higher approval rates are at San Francisco and Los Angeles. And then below that is like Arlington and Chicago are usually pretty similar. Okay. And Newark, New Jersey also is kind of with Chicago and Arlington kind of on this second tier. Sometimes they're equal to Los Angeles, but usually San Francisco is usually like kind of head and shoulders above everyone else in terms of the higher approval rate. But yeah, those two are both pretty similar. If yeah, yeah, they're both pretty good. So if you're thinking about moving and it may put you in the jurisdiction of one or the other, I wouldn't really let that influence your decision. Like which asylum office has a higher approval rate, because they're pretty similar. They're close enough from year to year that it shouldn't be a deciding factor. All right. What do you want to know about winning asylum in the United States? TikTok, good to see you. Uh, nice. Uh, can you apply for cancellation of removal if you have moved to court asylum case? Yeah, I think I understand what you're saying. So the question is this. Can you apply for cancellation of removal in immigration court if your asylum case was sent from the asylum office to immigration court? So now that you're there in immigration court, can you apply for cancellation of removal? Well, yeah, if that notice to appear that you got from the asylum office, if that occurred after you had already been here for 10 years. So you have to remember, for cancellation of removal, one of the requirements is that you are physically present in the United States for 10 years before you get put into removal proceedings. So when are you put into removal proceedings? When that notice to appear is issued. Technically, it's when it's filed with the immigration court, but it's usually around the same time that you receive it. So if you're here for 9 years and you get the referral notice and the notice to appear in the mail at the same time, you're not going to be eligible for cancellation of removal. But if you've been here for 10 years at the time that you get that notice to appear, then you would at least be eligible under that particular provision or that requirement. But there's several requirements to get cancellation of removal. It's not easy. The chances for success of the cancellation of removal are very low. You should, if you think you might be eligible, talk with a lawyer. And sure, if they think that you might be eligible, yeah, you should apply for it. But you should keep pursuing your asylum case, in my opinion, as well. Keep double track it. Pursue both at the same time. All right. All right. Hey, good to see you. My first asylum court date is next year. What advice would you give me? Thank you. Good question. The question is this. So what advice do I have regarding the first hearing in immigration court for your asylum case? This first hearing, called the master calendar hearing, weird name, I know, is usually just administrative in nature. And usually it's not the one where you have to really explain your case and tell the judge, your story and fight your case. But here's the thing. My advice actually is try to get it canceled. Try to skip it altogether. That's what we do with most of our clients. Is we do in writing what would normally be done in person on the day of a master calendar hearing, and we submit that to the judge. And then we submit a separate motion that says, hey, judge, look, we're doing in writing what would be done in court. And so we don't really need to have that hearing. It's not necessary. So can you just cancel it, please? And go ahead and schedule the other hearing, the individual hearing. And usually the judge says yes, almost always. And they just cancel that master calendar hearing and they skip straight to the individual hearing, which is good. I think it's usually strategically advantageous. You want to have your asylum case heard and get your decision as soon as possible. The sooner you get your interview or your hearing and your decision, the better your chances for success. And that's one of the reasons why we normally seek to just cancel the master calendar hearing and skip straight to the other one called the individual hearing. So that's my advice, is talk with an asylum lawyer about possibly following that strategy. Okay. You're welcome. You're welcome. Nice. Hello. Good afternoon. For those who just joined recently, I'm Brian Manning. I'm an asylum lawyer, and my law firm, it's called Political Asylum Lawyers, and we're based in Houston, but it doesn't matter where we're based because look, we help people all over the country. Okay. Doesn't matter where you are. We help people all over the country from coast to coast. If you want to talk with us, to see if we think that we're in a position to help you, then I want you to please schedule a consultation. That's where it all starts with us. We need to talk with you first. We want to get to know you. We want to understand your situation, your case, and then tell you whether we think that we're in a position to help you. If we think that we are, we're going to explain how. We're going to explain it in a lot of detail, actually, exactly what we would do, what our strategy would be to present the strongest case possible, to give you the best possible chance of winning your asylum case. And we do this in a consultation that you can schedule at this website, winasylum.com. Go to this URL, winasylum.com, winasylum.com, winasylum.com. All right. Oh, nice. This is nice. We got a client on here. Akash says on YouTube says, I'm your current client, sir. Your team did a good job on my supplemental filing, especially Mr. Anuj and Miss Evelyn. I hired you for roadmap only, sir. What do I have next? I need your help for full case. Awesome. Thank you. Thanks, Akash, for coming on and for making that comment and for telling everyone that you think we're doing a good job and that we've helped you. And I will let Anuj and Evelyn know about this kind comment that you made and that you appreciated their work on your case. That's awesome. All right. Your question though, Akash, about what for help for full case. Yeah, when if you reach the 5-year mark of waiting, then we will be happy to talk about suing the government to force them to give you your interview. Okay, if your interview gets scheduled, whether through the mandamus lawsuit or just organically, then you should hire us to prepare you and represent you in it. Those would be the next steps, Akash. Okay. Nice. The sound, Yilanong says the sound's cutting in the middle. Oh, has anyone else noticed on YouTube or Instagram or Facebook or LinkedIn the sound cutting out? Is there a problem with the sound? Anyone having a problem with the sound? Let me know. Is the sound okay or bad? Say good or bad. Let me know in the comments. All right. Nomi says, I've been on asylum pending since October 2024. Is there any other way to change my status to any other visa? The question is this: is it possible to get some other status while you're in this asylum pending phase? So let's say you've applied for asylum, but you think that you might be eligible to get a status other than asylum, like something based on employment or maybe investment or something like that. Can you do that? Can you switch from like asylum pending to get something else like student status or employment-based immigration status? The answer is maybe. It's tricky. What I recommend is that you talk with a lawyer who focuses on that thing. So if you think that you might be eligible for employment-based immigration status, talk with an immigration lawyer who focuses on employment-based immigration status, because they're going to be in the best position to advise you about, whether they think that you are in fact eligible or at least have a chance to win that case, and how it all works. Because at my law firm, we just do asylum. We don't do employment-based immigration. We don't do family-based immigration. We just do asylum all day, every day. All right. That's what we know. And I always recommend that people go with the person who is the expert in the exact problem that they need solved. The person who works on that problem in particular all day, every day, because I think they're going to be the best at that, solving that particular problem. All right. All right. We had this question on TikTok. My daughter applied for asylum and she didn't get anything for 5 months. So I think that raises, the question, The question is, oh, thank you. Does that say MIK? Yeah, sounds good. Okay. Glad maybe it's better now. The question is this. After you apply for asylum, when can you expect to get a receipt notice? This is the letter that says, hey, from USCIS that says, hey, we received your application, we accepted it, and now it's pending. Look, if you apply online for asylum, you're going to get that immediately, like literally after you hit submit, or for some reason we've seen it sometimes take until like the end of the next business day. So it's immediate or near immediate. However, if you apply by mail, by physical like mail, on paper, it's going to take several months. Okay, it's going to take several months. We've seen it taking from 5 to 10 months recently. Okay, that's one of the reasons why I think it's preferable to apply online through a My USCIS account if you're eligible to do so. There's some circumstances under which like you can't, but if most people are eligible to do so, and I think if you're eligible to do so, you should do it online for various reasons, but this is one of them. You get that receipt notice immediately, your case gets put in process immediately, and that's just it's just better. All right. Okay, so Jeet Sayed says, they called and told me that the mail is good to follow up, that they will mail it. Is it good to follow up with them, and what would be the email? Good question. So the question is this. What can you do if USCIS says they're going to mail you your decision after your asylum interview, but then it's taking a long time for that to happen? You're waiting, and nothing's coming in the mail. Look, if you wait more than like, I would say 3 weeks, then send them an email and say, hey, I had my interview on X date and I have not received my decision yet. Could you please let the asylum officer who did my interview know that I will be happy to provide any additional information that they may need in order to conclude the case? By the way, would you be so kind as to let me know when I can expect to receive the decision in the mail? Sometimes, rarely, but sometimes that works. Sometimes that just reminds them. It gets to the officer, and the officer's like, "Oh yeah, I forgot to finish doing this case. I just need to do a few more things to tie it all up and finalize it." And so sometimes it works. Like that email works to get the decision. Usually it doesn't, and if it doesn't, look, then really the only thing you can do is, if you applied for asylum a long time ago, you can consider suing the government to force the decision. This mandamus lawsuit that I talk about all the time is not just for forcing interviews, but also can be used to force a decision. So we're looking at, when did you apply? Under this scenario, or for this thing that I'm talking about of possibly suing the government to get your decision, we're not looking at the time between your interview and now. We're looking at the time between when you applied for asylum and now. In my office, we say that if you applied 5 years ago or more and you still haven't gotten your decision, then you're in a good position to have success with the mandamus lawsuit to sue the government to force them to give you the decision. Okay? You said, what would be the email? That's the question. Yeah. Hopefully you heard what I said a second ago, because I told you exactly what you could write. All right. If not, go back and watch this again, this replay when it's on YouTube. Okay. All right. Hansia says, I lived in Germany for 2 years and returned to my home country about 2 months ago. Now I'm facing threats. What are my options to go back to Germany or move to the USA? I have no idea about Germany. I don't know anything about Germany's immigration in general, or asylum in particular. So I have no idea. You should talk with an immigration lawyer in Germany about those questions. Well, to the United States, you would need to come here. Remember, you can't apply for asylum. You can't apply for asylum from outside of the United States. You'd have to come here on like a visa. Some people, or I'm not sure what your nationality is, maybe you qualify for the visa waiver program. But yeah, you got to come here to be able to apply for asylum. Here is the first step. All right. What do you want to know about winning asylum in the United States? I'm Brian Manning. I'm a former asylum officer turned asylum lawyer, and now my law firm helps immigrants all over the country to secure their future in America through asylum. So today I'm answering your questions about winning asylum in the United States. What do you want to know about winning asylum in the United States? Let me know. All right, TikTok, LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube. Good afternoon. All right, or good morning for those of you on the West Coast. Our friends out in like California, Washington State, you guys are still in the AM. Um, nice, nice. Let me know. What do you want to know about winning asylum in the United States? Hello, TikTok. Uh, uh, when would be the okay? Sharon Tirado. Sharon, I have stuff in. I don't know if you are Venezuelan, but if you are, look, I have stuff in Spanish. I have TikTok in Spanish. It's Asilo Aprobado, and that's the name of the YouTube channel. Our YouTube channel as well. Asilo Aprobado. For Venezuelans whose TPS will be ending tomorrow, when would the best time to apply for asylum be? Um, Good question. Let me address it like this. The question is this: for people whose temporary protected status is ending or may end soon, when would the best time be to apply for asylum? Well, yesterday or before it ends would be ideal. But look, this is a complicated, very complicated area. And my advice is this: if you fear being harmed in your country and your temporary protected status ends or you fear that it may end, and that's pretty much all of them, I think there is some risk that the Trump administration may take them away, um, and you haven't yet applied for asylum, you should talk with an asylum lawyer. I think you should also talk with an asylum lawyer if you're one of these people, but who has TPS or who has recently lost it, and you already applied for asylum with USCIS and got a final denial, because you can actually apply again with USCIS. Okay. Most people, including even most immigration lawyers, don't know this, but USCIS guidelines provide that you can apply for asylum a second time with USCIS, even after a final denial. So talk with an asylum lawyer. Don't talk with any asylum lawyer. Talk with my law firm. Most lawyers don't even know about this. So for this, call me, or actually go to winasylum.com, WINASYLUM.com, to schedule your consultation. Okay, WINASYLUM.com, winasylum.com. Which asylum office is the best for getting your interview fast? Good question. The question is this: which asylum offices are giving out interviews the fastest right now? Look, there aren't any publicly available statistics on this, okay? And what I can tell you though is that my law firm, we help clients file at all of the asylum offices. We have a lot of experience with all of them. And I can tell you they're all fast right now. Okay, we have not noticed any that are especially faster than the others, or any that are much slower than the others in terms of the speed with which they're giving out the interviews after someone applies. All of them are fast right now. Most people who have applied in the last about year have been getting their interview quickly, within usually 1 to 3 months of applying. Okay, so you got to be ready. You got to be ready to go. I hope you have an asylum lawyer helping you to put the case on paper, to fight the case on paper. And then I hope that they're going to prepare you for your interview through a mock interview. That's the most important part. Okay. A practice interview, a mock interview is the most important part. All right. And I hope that they're going to be there. They're going to be representing you as well on the day of your interview. You got to be ready to go fast. All right. Nice. DQ says on TikTok, he says, you recommend mandamus is a good idea, 12 plus years. Other lawyers recommend to wait for the interview. I think I just posted a TikTok or a short about this. I think it was yesterday, the day before. And the question is this: so why do some lawyers think it's not a good idea to file a mandamus lawsuit when I am saying every day, look, mandamus is great, it's amazing? Look, I think that many immigration lawyers, first of all, they don't know much about asylum. Okay. When I was an asylum officer with the government, I was really shocked to see that so many lawyers who came before me didn't know anything hardly about asylum. It's a complicated niche area within U.S. immigration law that most lawyers just don't take the time and effort to really master, to get to know. Okay. So most immigration lawyers don't even know about immigration, let alone mandamus lawsuits. Here's the other thing is that I think that most immigration lawyers are intimidated by the idea of doing a mandamus lawsuit because they don't know anything about it. Because look, it's a federal court issue. You have to file a lawsuit in federal court and then like deal with and negotiate with federal attorneys, which with what's called a U.S. Attorney's Office, which is different than the lawyers you deal with like in immigration court. And this is intimidating for most immigration lawyers. This is kind of like the big leagues. It's sophisticated legal work that is something that most immigration lawyers have never done in their lives, and they're afraid to do it. They're intimidated by it. They don't want to do it. And so they don't want to look bad. And so they'll just be like, no, that's not a good idea, because they don't want you to say, okay, then do it for me. Let's file it, because they don't want to do it. So I think those are maybe some of the reasons why some immigration lawyers say, oh no, don't do the mandamus lawsuit. I love it. Our clients absolutely love it because it works. All right. Nice. Look, DQ at 12 years, gosh, you are in a very good position to have success with a mandamus lawsuit. We should talk. I hope you'll call us. I hope you'll schedule a consultation. Go to winasylum.com, winasylum.com to schedule a consultation. Okay, winasylum.com. This is an interesting one. Lucian says, does working at a diplomatic mission affect LGBTQ asylum in the United States? I mean, no. Well, what do you mean? Like, I mean, are you thinking it would affect it positively or negatively? I mean, the answer is no. I mean, unless that puts you at higher risk in your home country of being harmed because you're seen as, a supporter of this, whatever country's diplomatic mission you were working in. I guess I'm not sure from the question what exactly you're getting at or what you have in mind. Maybe if you want to try again, let me know. Maybe restate the question for me, okay? Not the boy, yes, boys on YouTube says, thank you so much, sir. Got my asylum approved. You got the best team. You are the best. Nice. I love it. Apparently one of our clients, I don't know who it is, because they're using, this is their YouTube handle, not their real name. But apparently one of our clients who says, thank you so much, sir. Got my asylum approved. You got the best team. You're the best. Very nice. Congratulations. That's amazing. Awesome. Thank you for coming on to say that. Very kind of you to come on and say that. Congratulations. I hope we're helping you now to get your green card. I recommend that you move forward as quickly as possible, that people apply for their green card immediately after winning asylum. So hope you're hiring us for that if you haven't already. All right. Can you take my case if I'm in New Jersey? Good question from the Francois. The question is this. So my law firm is based in Texas. Can we help people in other states? Absolutely. Look, immigration law is kind of unique, and this is good for asylum seekers because other areas of the law, like if you wanted to hire a lawyer to help you with your divorce or whatever, you would need to hire a lawyer that is licensed in your state. But immigration law is different because it's federal. It deals with laws that are not at the state level, but rather from the federal government. And because of that, I, as an attorney, can work with people all over the country. An attorney who is a licensed attorney in any U.S. state can do immigration law in all of the U.S. states. And that's good for you because you have more choice. You have the whole country to recruit your attorney from, to select your attorney from, okay? So yeah, we help people all over the country. We help people from all over the country, all right? We're based in Texas, so sure, we have lots of clients in Texas. We have lots on the East Coast in New York, New Jersey, Massachusetts, Florida, New York, I already said that, California, Colorado, Chicago, all over, all right? So if you think you might want help with your case, doesn't matter where you are. We help people all over the country. Go to winasylum.com, okay? winasylum.com, winasylum.com to schedule a consultation, all right? You guys should work with him. He's trustworthy, says not the boys. Nice, thank you, appreciate that. And congratulations again. That's awesome. Very awesome. We're very happy for you. All right. Okay, so what email address? I'm going to see. I'm going to see if I can find that for you. I'm Googling it right now. No, this one doesn't have the emails. Yeah, I was Googling it for you to see if I could find it. I mean, we have all of them in our internal systems, but I was just trying to find a public, quick public list. Hold on. All right, look, I'm going to share this with you. I'm going to share our internal document, Google Doc here. I'm going to share the link with all of the Asylum Office email addresses in the chat on YouTube. If you guys want this, go to YouTube. YouTube is where I have all of my best stuff. All right. The YouTube channel is called Political Asylum Lawyers. That's the name of our law firm, and it's the name of our YouTube channel as well, Political Asylum Lawyers. So that is where I'm going to, on the YouTube chat, I'm going to paste this Asylum Office email addresses link. Okay. Wait, where'd that go? Why didn't that paste? Hold on. Let me try again. Yeah, there it is. I just pasted it in the chat on YouTube. All right. Daniel says I have an upcoming interview. Nice. Daniel, what Asylum Office and when? When and where? When and where? All right. Yep. When and where, Daniel? Let me know. Daniel, look, if it's coming up soon, if it's at least 5 days away from now, then in other words, if it's not in the next 5 days, it's not too late to get our help with preparation. The preparation is the most important part of the entire case. Okay. The preparation, the practice that you do for your asylum interview. Let me address it like this. The question is this: what's the most valuable thing that you can do to win your asylum case? How can you help yourself? What's the number one most important thing that you can do to improve your chances for success in your asylum case? And look, we lawyers love to answer questions with, well, it depends, right? But this is not an it depends. This is not a gray area. There is a clear, obvious, well, maybe it's not obvious, but it's a clear answer, a decisive one. Preparation or practice, okay? Practicing for your asylum interview is the best thing you can do to increase your chances for success. It's the most important part of any case. It's more important than what you said in your application. It's more important than what you say in a declaration. It's more important than your evidence. It's more important than a legal brief your lawyer may write for you. It's more important than having a lawyer represent you on the day of your interview. The most important thing and the number one thing you can do to improve your chances for success is practice. And we do that through a mock interview, a practice interview, full-scale mock interview. And then we do a follow-up debrief session where we give you feedback and all of our best tips. And we have a special service for this that you can check out. Go to this website to find tons of information, a very long video about it, and a super long text page about this preparation service that we do. Okay. Go to asylumprep.com, ASYLUMPREP.com, asylumprep.com to learn all about our asylum interview preparation service. That is what you can do. All right. This is interesting. Sajid says, thank you, Brian. And one more thing, you charge less than other lawyers. Really? That's interesting to hear you say that, because I think we charge more than a lot. We charge more than most, actually, that when last time I checked. That's interesting to hear you say that. Yeah. So if someone has mental disabilities and mental health issues and can't talk correctly and stutters, Can't complete sentences, was in special ed. Will it be difficult to win asylum? The question is this. Is it going to be hard to win asylum if the applicant has trouble communicating? Maybe they've got some mental health challenges or some physical disabilities that make it hard for them to communicate. Maybe they stutter really bad, or they just can't form sentences well, or it's just really hard to communicate. I mean, the answer is, yeah, it is going to be hard because you do have to explain your case. The officer will not just go by what you put in writing, in a declaration. They really care much, 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 much more about what you say on the day of your interview. Now, if you have like a medical diagnosis that you can get from a health professional that explains that you have these challenges that you're facing that make it hard to communicate, then you may be allowed, you could ask the asylum office to allow someone else to testify on your behalf, a trusted friend or relative who knows your situation and can testify about what they know about your case. The asylum office will consider that testimony, and that could help you. But yeah, it's tough. It's tough. Okay. Is there a discount code for initial strategy consultation? No, it's $97 right now. There's no discount code for it. But I think you'll think that it's worth it. All right. Even if you don't want to hire us, even if we say we're not in a position to help you, I think you're going to find that this consultation is well worth the $97. Okay. Leonardo, good to see you here. It's been a while. Says, thanks for your work. You're welcome. Can being targeted by a countrywide pervasive criminal cartel be grounds for asylum or withholding of removal? No. Well, look. Okay, I shouldn't have said no. It depends on why they are targeting you. Because it's not just about, it's not just about are you at risk, it's also why. There's this question of the nexus issue of are the bad guys wanting to harm you because of the fact that you possess, or at least they believe that you possess, one of the 5 protected characteristics under U.S. asylum law. Those are your race, religion, nationality, political opinion, or membership in a particular social group. Those are the 5 things, okay, that can make you eligible for asylum. So the question, Leonardo, is why do they want to harm you? Why would they be targeting you? Okay. And then I can tell you whether I think that sounds like something that might be viable for winning asylum. Okay. All right. Jason Joseph, unfortunately, we wouldn't be able to help you with a mandamus lawsuit yet. At our office, we have a policy where we say that you got to be waiting for 5 years or more before we'll take your mandamus case. Okay. But there's other things that we can do to help you right now. Okay. We can help you present your case on paper. And then later prepare you. And once you reach that 5-year mark, if you haven't gotten the interview yet, then we can sue at that time. Okay. So we wouldn't do the mandamus lawsuit yet, Jason, but if you want to make progress on your case in terms of, hiring a lawyer and getting work done, we can definitely help you with what's called an asylum roadmap, which is basically means fighting and explaining your case on paper. Okay. We can do that right now. So if you want to learn more about that and see if we think we can help you with it, go to winasylum.com, WINASYLUM.com to schedule the consultation. Okay, Yelenong says, good morning. My interview was done. I was given a decision to pick up. One day before the pickup date, I was informed that decision will be mailed. It's been 3 weeks. How long can it last? Unfortunately, there's no way to predict this with any confidence. Okay. This is not uncommon. First of all, it's not uncommon that they tell you to come in to pick it up, but then they call you a day or 2 or 3 before your pickup date and say, never mind, don't come in. We're going to mail it to you. That happens all the time. And it doesn't have anything to do with your underlying asylum case. Almost certainly. It almost certainly just means the officer got overwhelmed and didn't have time to finish processing it in time for that pickup date. Okay. So that's good news, is that it doesn't really have anything to do almost certainly with your actual case. All right. It'll probably, hopefully, in the next couple weeks here, you'll get the decision, but I can't guarantee it. Okay, I can't guarantee it. Sometimes it takes longer. Okay. Hey, I got her wrong. Good to see you. Says hello. Good to see you. Uh, you're welcome, Leonardo. Uh, yes, you're right. I used to say 3 years. Jason Joseph, you're right. We used to sue at 3 years. We changed our policy. Now we're doing 5. I know it's a bummer, but we decided that was the best thing to do strategically. All right. Um, yeah. All right. What do you want to know about winning asylum in the United States? All right. Nice. TikTok. How are you? Uh, okay. Why do a lot of lawyers want to help after the case is referred to court? What do you mean, Blue Sky? Why do a lot of lawyers want to help out? Like, are you saying that they don't want to help you before, or I'm not sure what point you're trying to make with that, or what I'm not sure what question you're actually asking. Can you restate that? Maybe let us know a little bit more about what you mean. Um, all right, nice. For those of you who just joined recently, I'm Brian Manning. I'm an asylum lawyer. So I'm an asylum officer turned asylum lawyer. I used to be an asylum officer at the USCIS Houston Asylum Office, but now uh, I have a law firm, and we help immigrants all over the country to secure their future in America through asylum. And I want to know what questions you have about winning asylum. But look, if you want to talk with us in a consultation, we would love to get to know you and understand your situation, understand your case, and tell you whether we think we're in a position to support you. If we think um, that we are, then we'll tell you how. We're going to give you a lot of details on exactly what that looks like, what we would do. And that's something I think that you won't get with most other immigration law firms. Most immigration lawyers will say, "Oh, yeah, we can help you. Don't worry." And you're like, "How?" And they're like, "Don't worry, we'll take care of it." Because they don't have a plan. They don't have an actual strategy. They don't have an actual framework for how they pursue a case, how they build a case. Okay. We have a plan. It's called an asylum action plan. And of course, it gets tweaked depending on the circumstances and the facts of your particular case. But we have an overall strategy and framework for how we pursue asylum cases. And we're going to tell you all about it in a consultation. You schedule the consultation at winasylum.com, WINASYLUM.com, winasylum.com. Okay. Uh, Leon Mas is the cost of the ARM based on the case, or does it have a general cost? No, it has a. I'll tell you. Let me look at their fee sheet. It's not. Sorry, it's not based. It's not based on the case. It's just a flat fee, flat rate. Excuse me, flat rate for everyone. Trying to find it. Pull it up here on my computer. It is $5,000. The ARM is $5,000. So what am I talking about when I say ARM? The question is this. So what is this asylum roadmap that I'm always talking about? So this is what we call our filing that we're going to do in support of your case. It's where we're explaining your case, where we're fighting your case on paper. So when we apply, we don't, at the time of application, we don't provide all of the supporting documents. We do that later through this separate filing, and we call it an asylum roadmap. Why do we call it that? Well, it's supposed to be like a roadmap that helps the officer to get to the answer yes in your case. It shows them how to get to the answer yes in your case in the easiest way possible. Okay. It consists of 3 elements: a declaration from you that we're going to work on together, a legal brief from my team that we write, where we connect the dots and explain your case and show how you meet all the eligibility requirements, and evidence. Okay, that we're going to work with you to develop to identify what to try to get and then decide what to use. Um, and even if you already submitted some evidence, we're almost certainly going to ask you to try to get some additional stuff. Okay, so we're going to work with you on all that. So we're going to pull all this together and we submit it to the asylum office. And the goal is that, when you walk into your actual asylum interview, we want that officer to be thinking, okay, based on the documents in this case, I already understand the case really well, and I already see how this person qualifies for asylum. That's the mindset that we want to establish in the officer's mind before your interview. That's how we want to give you a huge advantage. We do this through this asylum roadmap, or ARM. Okay. Uh, nice. Oh, thank you for those gifts. Very nice. Uh, all right. YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, TikTok. Good afternoon. For those who just joined, I'm Brian Manning, asylum lawyer. I used to be an asylum officer with the government, but now my law firm, Political Asylum Lawyers, helps immigrants all over the country to secure their future in America through asylum. Okay. Uh, uh, does your appearance qualify you for asylum if it puts you at risk according to country conditions? Can that be considered membership in a particular social group? Maybe, maybe you may be able. Nobody. What do you mean? Is this like a racial or perhaps ethnic or tribal appearance? Um, Give me more info. Nobody. Give me more info. I mean, the answer is like it could be possible to make a good argument about particular social group based on appearance if the country conditions support it. If they show that society largely views people who look a certain way as a kind of class, like that is kind of distinct and set apart from society in a certain way, then you might be able to make a decent argument. But look, uh, particular social group arguments are disfavored, at least at my law firm, if there is another route to go, which is to say, if it's not one of the principal and widely accepted particular social groups, then we won't argue it unless we don't have anything better. So, like, if someone has a clear political opinion case and they have this other thing where we're like, oh, maybe we might be able to make that argument about that it counts as a particular social group, we would prefer not. We won't make the PSG, the particular social group argument, because it's um, I'm not. It's just philosophically, I don't like the idea of throw everything out there and see what sticks. I would rather go with the strongest one or two arguments and not include what I think are weaker arguments. Um, but also, particular social groups in particular are tricky for they're burdensome for officers. The officers are required to do a lot more work if you, as the applicant, say, oh, I think that I'm part of a particular social group, and that particular social group is not one of the ones that's like on a list that they have of widely accepted particular social groups. It creates a lot of work for the officer, which I'm not saying you shouldn't do that if that's your best argument or even a good argument. But if it's kind of a weak argument and you've got a pretty good argument about any of the other four protected characteristics, I would go with the other ones and not include a weak PSG claim. That's my philosophy. All right, nice. Terry, nope, there's no coupons for free consultations, unfortunately. It's $97 right now. All right. Should I apply for Tiffany, I'm looking at your question. Should I apply for residency through asylum or apply through my marriage? My husband's a U.S. citizen. Um, Both. I would do it through both. Um, Actually, you know what? I take that back. I take that back. I don't know. I would need to talk with you a little bit about your situation to make it to make an assessment like that. Yeah, that's kind of a tricky one that I can't answer in a context like this. I would recommend that you talk with an immigration lawyer in detail about your situation to decide how to handle that one. Okay, I withdraw my both statement. I'm going to reserve judgment on this one. All right. Uh, nice. Does mandamus give you more chances to win than a regular interview? Um, Good question. The question is this: does filing a mandamus lawsuit to force the government to give you your interview, does that help you to actually win your underlying asylum case? Does it increase your chances for success with the asylum case? And the answer is only to the extent that, in my opinion, the sooner you get your interview and your decision, the better your chances for success. So look, the mere fact that you sued to get the interview in and of itself, like alone, does not help you. It doesn't help you and it doesn't hurt you in your underlying asylum case. It has no impact. However, I believe that it's better to get your interview sooner rather than later. So if filing a mandamus lawsuit, helps you to get your interview at 5 years of waiting, as opposed to if you just wait and you get it, 5 years later, once you've been waiting 10 years, well, that's good. It's better to have it at 5 than at 10 years. So in that sense, going the mandamus route, yes, it does help you to increase your chances for success in your asylum claim because it's better to have it sooner rather than later. So yeah, indirectly it helps, but like the mere fact that you got your interview through a mandamus lawsuit is neither a positive nor a negative. It's a non-factor in your asylum case. Okay. But yeah, I mean that is just to drive home this point a little more. I mean, this whole getting your interview sooner because it's good for you, good for your chances for success, is the main reason that we recommend that people do mandamus lawsuits, because it's good to have your interview sooner rather than later. You have a better chance for success if you get your interview sooner. Um, well, and people just also want to move on with their lives. People get sick of waiting. They get sick of being in limbo. They get sick of feeling like they can't plan for their future because they don't know if they're going to be allowed to stay here. Getting your interview and winning your case gives you peace of mind, right? It makes you feel like, you know what, I did it. I can stay here. I've got certainty. I've got confidence around my future. And this leads to peace of mind. It makes people happy. So yeah, the benefits of that can come thanks to this mandamus lawsuit are huge. If you want to talk with us about this mandamus thing, go to winasylum.com and schedule a consultation. WINASYLUM.com. Look, I want to say something here, but I need to preface it with a sort of cover or a disclaimer. Past performance does not guarantee future results, okay? Your results may vary. I'm not making any promises, but look, I do want to tell you that my law firm has filed around 200 of these lawsuits, these mandamus lawsuits. And to date, to the time that we're doing this live right now, we haven't lost one yet. We have not lost a single one. That doesn't guarantee that if you hire us for your mandamus lawsuit that we're going to win. There's no guarantees. Okay. Your results may vary. But I think it does demonstrate that this is a very effective tool. It's a powerful tool. Our clients love it because it works. Okay. So yeah, if you want to talk with us about, whether it's a good idea, maybe to do it in your case, then please schedule a consultation. We want to talk about this in a consultation. Go to winasylum.com, 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 and schedule that consultation, what we call an asylum strategy session. Do it right now. Schedule it right now. I think we have availability, not for this week, but next week. But all of next week's slots will probably get filled up, next day or two. So if you want to talk with us in the next week or two, you should go right now and schedule this consultation. Go to winasylum.com, WINASYLUM.com, winasylum.com. All right. Okay, Daniel, what do you want to? What's your question? You said mine is New York. I forgot to update. Oh, Daniel, was that you that said earlier you have you said I have the interview scheduled, and I said when and where, and you said was that you? I can't remember if that was you or not. any event, you said mine is New York. I forgot to update my address. I applied for asylum in 2018, interview in December. Um, uh, well, okay. You mean your interview is this coming December or was last December? I assume you mean this coming December. Daniel, we should talk. We should really talk. If it's in December, we still have time to help you to prepare for this. Okay. We still have time to do the most important thing with you, which is the preparation. The preparation is key. It's everything. Daniel, go to asylumprep.com. Okay. And watch the video. And if you think that that looks like it could be helpful, then on that page, there's a little blue button you can click to go to a page where you can schedule a consultation. We want to talk with you in a consultation to see if you qualify for our mock asylum interview experience. We call it the experience, okay? The mock asylum interview experience. We want to see if you qualify, and we do that in a consultation. But start by going to asylumprep.com, Daniel, and watch the video, read the page, and see if you think it looks good. If it does, schedule a consultation, okay? Asylumprep.com. That's where you can go to learn about our asylum interview preparation service. Okay, and I think it's great. It's the most important thing you can do to increase your chances for success is the preparation. Okay. All right. Nice. Okay. I see. Sounds good, Tiffany. Great. You're welcome, Leon or Leon. Nice. Can someone apply I-130 when the I-730 gets 221G? What? Apply for I-130 to do what? And then what? Like what? Are you talking about family-based immigration? What kind of immigration are you talking about here? Also, how long ago was the I-730 put in 221G status? I want to know. Okay, because you can eventually, if it's taking too long, if it's been a very long time, you could use a mandamus lawsuit to get a decision on that I-730. 221G, as long as you've provided them with whatever they asked for, if anything, because 221G is not a decision; it's just like a holding pattern. And I know this well because I used to be a diplomat. And as a diplomat, I served as a visa officer. So I know all about 221G. I know how that works, okay? I'm curious, when did it get put into 221G status? How long ago, I guess is the question. How long ago? All right. Nice. Greetings to you, sir, says Jovis Akiekwe. Sorry if I mispronounced that. Hey, greetings. Good to see you. What do you want to know about winning asylum in the United States? That's what I want to know. Okay. Okay, what does the asylum interview preparation consist of? Yep, good question. The question is this: what are you going to get with our mock interview preparation service? What does it consist of? So look, what we call the mock asylum interview experience, that's our service to help people prepare for their interview. It's for people that are not in a position to hire us for like full-scale representation. Maybe that's because of finances, because of money, or time. They don't have time for us to step in and become their lawyers and actually represent them in the full case. We can still offer this other service, the preparation, which is the most important part of any case, to be sure. We can offer this at a fraction of the cost of what it costs to hire us to actually be your lawyers. And we can do this very quickly. With your interviews coming up in just a few days, we can still do this. If it's at least 5 days, actually, is the minimum. It's a 2-hour mock interview, 2-hour practice interview, where we're going to go through everything that you'll experience pretty much on the day of the real interview so that you feel like you've been there and done that. Followed by a separate 30-minute debrief session, like another video conference where we give you feedback, tell you how you did, and tell you how you can improve. And we're going to give you recordings of these 2 practice sessions, both audio and video, as well as AI-generated summaries and transcripts so that you can keep benefiting from these. You can listen and watch them again if you want. up until the moment of your interview. You can keep studying, keep practicing, keep preparing up until the moment of your interview. So it doesn't matter whether your interview is scheduled for 2 weeks from now or 2 years from now. You can keep benefiting from this preparation up until your interview. Okay. And then also you're going to get, for right now, we have like a special program right now where you're going to get access to some additional trainings that I've done on the interview, on how to prepare for the interview, that are not available anywhere else. Okay. You can find out all about this at asylumprep.com. You would need to do a consultation with us first to see if you qualify, but it all starts at go to asylumprep.com. Watch the video, read the page, and if you think it sounds like it could be helpful to you, then click on the blue button on that page to go schedule a consultation so we can talk through it in more detail and see if you qualify. All right. It all starts though at asylumprep.com. Go to asylumprep.com. All right. That's going to be it for today, guys. I hope you have a great Thursday afternoon. I'm Brian Manning, and it's really an honor. It's a pleasure and an honor to support you in your asylum journey. I hope everyone has a great day, and we'll see you again soon live. Thanks, guys, for being here. Take care.